no chance that Ash beats Red in a Pokemon battle. There's no chance.
So this is one I'm staying on all 10 toes
Yeah.
on as well. There's no way in
No,
hell,
bro. This
that
is the
Ash.
motherfucker. This is the motherfucker who beat an Elite Four that had 5 people. Come on, I mean, give me a fucking break. And not only did he do that, but then he one ups himself in the next game, and his Pokemon are like level fucking 90. Like, this motherfucker's already got his Pokemon at level cap almost. After like 2 adventures, it's like the dude's like meditating on the top of a fucking mountain. Just standing around looking off a fucking cliff face. They're like, this dude doesn't take no prisoners. Like, Ash took like 8 regions to win a Pokemon League. So like, give me a fucking break, dude. He's gonna use his stupid Pikachu, and then he's gonna try to beat Red with like the fucking starter evolution from the new region, whatever that is. It's like that's what Ash does. He starts at level 1 every time he goes to a new area.
People don't understand that Ash is written like he's written in a certain way to where he can win certain situations. I guess that's all media, you know what I'm saying? But like, I don't know, man. It's like, I guess in the newer Pokemon stuff, I haven't watched the newer one, like when he changed his art style and stuff like that. I haven't watched that one. But like in the old ones, like I still don't believe like he's that good of a trainer. Like he makes questionable decisions and everything.
Yeah.
Like when he just releases Pokemon, like he released that his Venusaur or his Bulbasaur when it evolved to Ivysaur, I think.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And he had like one of the strongest Bulbasaurs like people ever seen. And he was like, yeah, I'm just gonna release it, bro. It's all good. Whatever.
Yeah.
And Squirtle, he did that shit. Like
yeah,
it was
man.
just like, why does he do that? He just does dumb shit. I remember his
Didn't he
Primate was like
he tried to do
super
it with
strong.
Charizard too, didn't he?
Yeah, I remember he had a super strong Primate as well, and he just released it, and it was like, I'm not Primate, Infernape.
Or no, yeah. Oh, okay. No, there was a Primeape too, actually.
Oh, he did have a Primate, yeah.
You remember that? Yeah.
Yeah. But like,
Butterfree, he did that with.
Oh, his Butterfree was OP.
Oh, didn't he do it with Pidgeot too?
Pidgeot, yeah.
Yeah, that was like after he went to the Pokemon League. Yeah. So yeah, motherfucker, man, he's got a bunch of Tauros, chilling at Professor Oak's lab. Those are the only Pokemon he keeps. Them and Pikachu. I guess
I'll give it a step further. I'll say even Gold is beating Ash, bro. Like, because Gold had to fight Red.
I mean, I think any of the player characters from the games would beat Ash. I mean, what? Just think about it. They all win their league like the first time they try. Like, so they're actually like super talented trainers. Like Ash is like, I don't know.
And Red is canon. Like he's canon to beat the Elite Four and take down Team Rocket. Yeah, by himself.
I know. Dude, you just say those things, and it's like Ash literally can't even permanently beat Jesse and James and like get them to go away. It's like fucking forget about the rest of Team Rocket.
Exactly.
This is what I need, though. This is why. Unfortunately, I love Pokemon. I think as an anime, Pokemon could be really fucking cool if Ash wasn't the main character. If it was Red, somebody like Red who like takes no prisoners. Because that would be way more interesting to watch, where he's like actually influencing the world around him rather than just walking around in it, existing in it.
Didn't Gary become? Didn't he beat the Elite Four? Or did he lose? I can't remember if he beat the Elite Four or not.
Are we talking about in the show or the game?
In the show. I know in the game, Blue. His name was Blue in the game, and I know he did beat the Elite Four.
Of course,
and he had to fight him as
the champion, and then you beat him and become the champion. Yeah, but in the show, I don't think so. I mean, there's a concept of the Elite Four in the show, but they're not like, you don't fight them in the tournament. Like, or at least I've never watched far enough to see if you actually fight them in the tournament.
I believe the Pokemon League in the show was an actual league. It wasn't.
Yeah, it's like a real league where you're like ranked, and you there's like a tournament at the end, like an elimination tournament style tournament. So you don't. It's not the same like structure, I guess. But I mean, fuck, man. Ash lost in like what was it? Not even he wouldn't even lose in the quarterfinals. It was like the fucking round of 16.
I thought he lost in the first round.
And in the Indigo League, like the first one.
Oh, in the Indigo League.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
he lost in the round of 16 to what's his name?
Okay.
The other dude who had a Pikachu. Yeah.
Oh yeah, his name was like Sparky or some shit like that. No,
Yeah.
that was another
I
episode.
think
That
it
was
was
another
no,
episode.
I think you're right. Or something like that. I don't remember.
Okay.
Oh man. Good old Pokemon.
I do remember him. He won in the Orange League,
Yeah, but
and then he.
that was like a joke league. Like
That's what everyone
yeah,
says. That
that's
was like
not
a
a
joke
real
league.
league. Like fuck that shit, dude.
And then I don't know if he won in the next gen. Did he win Johto's league?
No, he didn't
I,
win, dude. It was a whole meme. He didn't win until I think it was literally Sword and Shield League.
really?
It was either Sword and Shield or the one before that, which is Sun and Moon, I think. Yeah.
Okay, I think it was Sun and Moon. I think he won in Sun and
Yeah,
Moon.
yeah, he didn't win until then. He lost every single time he did it.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not.
So what Ash would do, this is what Ash would do. Red would probably re-enter the same league and try to win again. Ash goes to the next region and is like, "Man, I'm just gonna try over here now." You know, he just gives up.
Well, Red's gonna go in the cave and meditate, and then come back and be stronger than ever. So,
bro, his Snorlax is gonna be like level 150. You know,
you find him on the top of Mount Silver, chilling with Mewtwo, bro.
I know, like come on, dude. You know, like that's the stupid thing. He's got Mewtwo. He could probably KO Ash's entire team with just that Pokemon. Like fuck that, dude. Like if we're talking about the show, like Mewtwo is absurdly powerful. You know. So yeah, no, fuck that, dude. That's stupid. It's just it's funny. Oh, good old anime power scaling arguments. You know, kind of makes my brain melt a little, but you know, I remember on the old Naruto, you know, forums, man, when people would argue about, oh, can Sasuke beat, you know, fucking, I don't even know, Itachi, or I'm trying to think of some random person he never fought, you know. And it's always so stupid. Like the arguments are just so so dumb. People just pour their fucking souls into that shit, you know. But
Yeah,
that's all right. It's fun. It's fun at times. So, all right, Montrell, how are you doing this week?
I'm not tired. I'm exhausted. I'm not really exhausted. I'm just like here.
Yeah,
I have like a fatigue.
Yes.
I think that's what it is. I have gamer fatigue right now. So like
gamer fatigue. Okay.
yeah, but my gamer fatigue like extends everywhere to every tentacle of my life.
To the
So
people, not
yeah,
games necessarily. Okay.
well, it's everything, like everything encompassing. Like I finally finished this game, and now like I kind of have like fatigue from the game.
Well, is it like that come down where it's you played something so good that nothing else can match it, and you're just like, I don't really want to play anything?
Yeah, I mean, when I get later into it, it was actually a challenging game for me.
Yeah.
Because I didn't do certain things like our other friend did, so it was a really challenging game for me. So then once I came down from that high, it's like I don't really know what else to play like right now, and I want to get into the other games that I got listed here, but it's just like my calm before my storm. So I don't know.
Well, I skipped over the intro. So hi everybody. We've been going for almost 10 minutes now. This is the Player's Take. This is episode 183. I'm your host, Justin Simoni, joined by my co-host, Montrell Rice. And I've already asked him how he's doing. But yeah, so I feel you. I don't have game fatigue right now. I'm actually kind of in a gaming bliss moment right now. I feel like where I'm just kind of enjoying everything I'm playing. But in terms of life, I have life fatigue right now. You know when like life beats you down and you're just kind of like tired of it all. That's kind of where I'm at right now, you know.
Yeah.
Ultimately. So I'm escaping into Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Pretty successfully, but yeah, my job is like you know, I'm just tired of it. I'm like in a malaise with it right now. I don't know. I don't feel motivated. I don't like a lot of the people I work with, and it's frustrating because I can't do anything about it. At least not at work. So yeah. But enough of my bringing the podcast down. Montrell, let's get into some icebreakers here. All right. Did you see the Dragon Ball Super skins in Fortnite? I
Yes,
mean, it's kind of hard not to, but
I almost did it when I almost did it again
yeah,
because they did this the same thing with Naruto. They
yeah,
released the Naruto skins, and I almost logged in just to buy the skins and not play the game. And then
dude, I am so annoyed because I'm like, we were playing Fortnite for a while, and like I still like it. I'm down to go back to it actually, but
yeah,
the funny part about it is like, yeah, these skins look they look good. They're well made, but it's like I've been seeing all these videos of like Fortnite and people are like posting these like ridiculous things. They're like this game is ridiculous where they'll have the Goku skin on and they fucking Spider-Man web sling around some trees and then they fall on the ground and they pull out a fucking Darth Vader's like lightsaber and start swinging at somebody at it and then they do a Kamehameha on the next guy who shows up and it's like so fucking stupid looking. And I'm like, Fortnite is the most ridiculous game I think I've ever seen. Like, how have they pulled this off that they have all these IP mashed up together that people are like, that companies are okay with this shit, you know? That like Disney's cool with having like Darth Vader on the same, in the same goofy fucking fight as like Goku doing a Kamehameha. Like, I don't know. It's interesting.
no, I think it's really cool. This is what happens when you make a really well made game, um, and people want to play it, and you have companies literally paying you
Mm-hmm.
or doing collabs to make skins,
Yeah.
to get money for it. So I think like I said, I like Fortnite. I like the regular, the non-building mode
Non-build,
of
yes.
Fortnite. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that mode. But I think other companies can learn from this. Like, why haven't we got like? You remember me and you were talking about Apex, right? And we were talking about Mirage. Why haven't we got like a Naruto skin from Mirage where he's doing Shadow Clone Jitsus or something like that?
Right.
Like, why haven't other fucking PUBG was doing collabs, but I think they were only doing it on their mobile version of their game.
Mhm.
Like, it's just weird how other companies don't see how big of a influence this is,
Yeah.
and they won't do it at all. Like, I don't know. It's just weird to me that they don't do it. Like, but NBA 2K does stuff like this where they have like Nike collabs and Balenciaga collabs and Gucci collabs for their characters and everything like that, and people will log in, spend VC points for it,
Mhm.
and buy those items. So I don't understand why the games like we like,
Yeah.
Apex for instance, or even Call of Duty had like a a Godzilla and an Attack
Attack
on
on
Titan.
Titan, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude. Like
yeah,
Apex
so
is just they just lack vision, dude, over there at EA.
yeah,
Respawn, we've long posited that they've gotten kind of complacent with Apex, and I think that's true. Like I really
yeah,
think that's true. They are not pushing the boundaries of what that game can be at all anymore,
yeah.
and they haven't been for a long time. I would argue over half the game's lifespan at this point. They really haven't been pushing the envelope to me. So
Yeah, but Fortnite, I mean, this is what happens when at first I think you have an unlimited budget because Fortnite has a huge budget. Second, like even with their exposure to the game, I remember their controversy with the dances and stuff coming out, right?
yeah.
And then now you can actually donate, or you can say, "Hey, this dance is a part of my thing," and like their little survey thing or whatever,
Mhm.
and you'll get paid for when people buy those emotes and stuff like that. Or now what they do is they'll put a song to it. If you have a song associated with that dance, every time that dance gets purchased or played, I think that counts as a stream download of your song or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So they have ways of like monetizing and giving back to the community as far as like it sound like I'm doing some kind of it's like they're doing a service, but like no, they have a way of communicating with their community to let the community know like, hey, yeah, we are a video game company, but we do
Mhm.
care about the consumers as well.
Yeah.
Like, even though it's a free to play game, it's kind of like really pro-consumer, in a sense. Like, you spend what you play. Like, you don't need to spend money. Like, you don't need to buy skins to play Fortnite. You can just log in and play. Like,
Well, I was playing I was playing with the default skin for weeks.
oh yeah,
And
we
you
braided
guys
you.
were so mad at me. You guys were getting so upset. I was playing with the default like dance and shit in the game, and I remember all this shit from when I first played it. And I'm just sitting there fucking laughing my ass off as you guys are like fucking running around with your stupid VTuber skins or whatever the fuck. You know, I'm just using the dumb default. It's funny. But
Yeah,
I think
well, I think that's funny though.
yeah, I think the Dragon Ball skins in particular though, the Vegeta skin, I think they went overboard with the hair, dude, on Vegeta.
Oh
I'm
yeah, yeah.
sorry. Like they turned him
His
into
head
a
is
fucking
super
bobble.
big.
He's like a bobblehead, basically.
Yeah.
I kind of dislike it. Goku looks good. Beerus being in there is funny as hell. I love all. Have you seen the memes coming out about with this too? By the way, where people are like, putting sound effects over Dragon Ball Super scenes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They're like putting like Fortnite guns and shit on there. Where like Jiren like kills Vegeta or whatever. And like all his guns fall on the ground and Goku's got a fucking AR in his hand. And he's like he's like screaming, Vegeta, shit's funny as hell, man. So it's good stuff. I think it's good fun. Fortnite's giving us some joy, I guess. They've managed to stay relevant somehow still, with a game that I think the build mode was such a barrier that it was like really hurting the game. I think them taking that out and putting no build in as like a permanent mode really like revitalized the game, honestly. So I've been seeing it a lot more in my feed for sure. Yeah, so outside of that, there's been some leaks around Blizzard lately. The first ones I saw were actually release date information for some Blizzard games coming up. And one of those is WoW Classic. Wrath of the Lich King is coming out in September. They're going to be opening servers for that, which that has been confirmed since that leak happened, by the way. So that is actually happening. And then the next expansion is coming out in November, supposedly, 10.0. And then Diablo 4 pre-purchase is happening in December, which lines up with Keeley's Game Awards. Makes me think there's going to be a big announcement there, probably coinciding with this date. So that happened. But there was also more leaks. There was a leaked survey that revealed some information about monetization for Diablo 4, and apparently the game is only going to be selling cosmetic microtransactions. So cosmetic only. Montrell, is that okay with you? Or do you think there's other types of monetization they should explore?
I think I'm okay with it being cosmetic only. Like, I don't mind that. I mean, I've come to accept that at this point.
So yeah, I'm like 50-50 on it. I'm okay with it in certain games, like Apex, for instance. Like, I don't have a problem with you selling skins in Apex, right? Because the game comes with a default skin, and there's not a way to get like, you don't like get skins through gameplay in the game, so I don't have a problem with it there. But the problem I have with this in an RPG is a lot of the fun in an RPG is making your character look cool through what you get, the drops that you get. So if they're going to sell cosmetics, that inherently means that there's going to be an emphasis on them to a degree that it will de-emphasize the designs on normal loot that you can get. They don't want that shit to look too cool, because then you wouldn't have a need to buy the cosmetics, right? So
Yeah.
I don't love it in an RPG where you can see your gear, like where your gear changes what your character's wearing. So
that's what I was going to ask. In Diablo, I think I can't remember in Diablo 3, your gear did change and show up on your character, right?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know about Diablo 2, but I know Diablo 1 that really wasn't the case. It was all stat based, I believe.
No, it did in 1 and 2 as well. It's just that the
Okay.
games look like shit, so it was kind of hard to to tell. But yeah, if
Okay.
you put plate armor on, your character would be wearing plate armor.
Yeah, I do remember that in one.
Yeah.
Like I said, I didn't play two, but I do remember that in one. It's been so long since I played one though. And I've beaten one,
Yeah.
but it's been so long since that. But I know in three, yeah, your character did change. So in that aspect, in this aspect, I am kind of weary of that, but I know that's a thing in WoW now. Like
Yeah.
you can purchase cosmetic armor
Oh yeah, you've
for
been able to do that for a long time.
yeah, but it's also a thing in Final Fantasy 14 as well.
True.
You can change the way your
Yeah.
character looks.
So I'm glad you brought those two up though, in contrast to one another, because I think there's a difference, right? WoW, if you go look at WoW's cosmetics, the shit that they have for gear is stuff that is literally like they don't have on gear in the game that you can earn in the game. Whereas Final Fantasy 14, like they don't the cosmetics they sell for equipment and shit, it's like weird stuff, like a fucking tuxedo or like a bathing suit. Like they don't sell you gear that like looks cool in the same way as like the dungeon gear does. They sell you like casual attire type things, you know. A lot of the time, or mounts, you know, or pets, you know, the fucking little pets that follow you around and stuff like that. Like that's the kind of stuff they
Mhm.
sell, which they sell this stuff in WoW too. But I feel like in Final Fantasy they do a good job of making it so that that stuff is in the shop. You can buy it, but there's really cool shit you can get in the game too. And I'm sure some people would argue World of Warcraft's the same way, but I've seen some of the cosmetics you can buy on the WoW store, and dude, they have like particle effects and shit on them that they've never done on normal armor within the game. You know, like they're going out of their way to put more effort into that than they are the regular gear. You know,
Yeah.
so which I have more of an issue with. You know, it's I don't know. They're trying to push people towards the store, whereas I don't feel that in Final Fantasy. You know.
Yeah, Final Fantasy is pretty weird. So like all the cool flashy looking armor is hidden behind not paywalls, but like epic or the chaos fucking dungeons you gotta get and everything like that. Or you gotta craft it, right? You gotta pay somebody to craft the gear or whatever the case may be. It's hidden behind classes and stuff like that. Because you can't just buy gear
Mm-hmm.
from like vendors and even the auction house. You can't really buy that gear. You gotta make that gear. Because the end game in Final Fantasy 14 is fucking crazy. Yeah, I just did some research, like just like in game gear for my DK,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just like, bro, what the fuck? This game, it's a totally different game after that. Like y'all got started early on the crafting and everything, so I think y'all are okay. But like me, like it's gonna be a wild ride for me.
Well, I'm the only one who really did. Dude, like I was thinking about Final Fantasy actually this week. I kind of want to go back to it again. Because last time I left off with it, I was focused on crafting. Like I was leveling all the crafters, and I had gotten them all to like 70, somewhere in the 70s, I think, close to
Mm,
80s on most of them. And so I was trying really hard to get them all maxed out, and I kind of burnt out before I got there. But I kind of want to go back and finish that off. And like that'll get me to a point where I can kind of like play the game again. But I don't know. Nobody's gonna play with me though, so I'm just gonna be like playing by myself, you know. But I don't know, man. I really like Final Fantasy 14 though, so maybe, maybe. But
yeah,
yeah, cosmetic microtransactions in Diablo 4. I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, it's the safest thing Blizzard could do. You know, if they sold power in the game, that would be a huge no. I think that would torpedo the game if they tried to do that shit. You know, so they know them. They're smart enough to at least know their audience there. They can't do a Diablo Immortal style monetization there. But so I think it's fine. We'll see how aggressive it is. But
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it's unless they're having like because people usually buy the cosmetics in Final Fantasy for role playing purposes. That's
right,
pretty much all I see it for.
right. Right, you're not gonna
But
run a dungeon with somebody like I've never run a dungeon with somebody that was wearing like the bikini outfit, you know.
I have.
Oh, you have? Well, shit. I never have had that experience in that game, so it's
Yeah,
probably fairly rare, you know. Uh,
yeah. I think I ran into a couple of healers that had it.
that's funny.
So yeah,
Yeah. So I don't know. I like the way they do it in Final Fantasy. Hopefully they do something similar in Diablo, but we'll see.
yeah,
I mean, dude, we're that game's supposed to be coming out next year, so we're within 16 months of it being out at this point.
Is everybody getting it on PC? I just want to make sure before I decide where I'm going to play
Yes,
it.
I'm definitely getting it on PC.
Okay.
But I would expect, though, I would anticipate this game would have crossplay.
I'm not holding my breath.
I would be really surprised if it didn't, dude. Like, I don't know. But we'll see. Then again, they're going to be owned by Microsoft by that point, so I don't know if they're going to want to pay Sony for the Sony crossplay
Oh
fee.
yeah, I forgot about that
So
shit.
it may be crossplay with Xbox and not PlayStation. So we'll see. All right, Montrell. Let us move on into what we've been playing. Do you want to go first this week? We're going to be talking about the same shit basically. So.
All right. Yeah, I'll just start off with another game I didn't put on there. I did try to play League of Legends after abandoning it for a week, and it's fucking. I can't, man. I might uninstall this shit.
this like, dude. You know, I think if anybody's been listening to this show since the beginning, like the journey that you've gone on with League of Legends over the course of this show is just so fucking funny, dude. It's like a lover that you can't let go, man. Like,
yeah, it's just
you're in a down period right now. You're gonna uninstall, but you'll be back. Don't you worry, you'll be back.
Yeah, I am probably gonna uninstall it, but I probably reinstall it like a month later or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. You know that dopamine rush like you get when you beat Apex Legends, or you beat your victors and everything. You get that. Yeah, you win. You ready for the next game? Like when I win a game, I legitimately don't fucking care. I'm like, I just wasted 30 minutes of my life. so
well, dude, you know that? Yeah, I know what you're talking about because you know yesterday when we were playing when you and Brad died and I fucking beat that team in Skyhook or whatever. And I had like 5 HP left. Like, dude, the exhilaration you feel in that moment is just so like you're like, yeah, I just fucking beat you, motherfucker. And I just start teabagging their corpse. You know, it's like,
yeah. Even when I'm watching y'all play, or we like whenever we are doing like a good play like that, we all get really hyped off that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But like I have League of Legends friends that I have like a Discord with and everything, and we get hyped, but it's just not as fun. Like we are legitimately just sometimes we get 10 people and we play ARAM, and it's fucking hilariously fun.
Oh, that does sound fun as hell.
Yeah, so I don't know. But I did finish Xenoblade Chronicles 1 Tuesday, I think. I don't know, whenever I text y'all in the group chat.
Yeah.
I finished it. Yeah, it was a wild ride. I will say, man, like I don't think this game was meant to be played the way I was playing it because I was just rushing through it. And
no, okay. I've tried so hard to explain this to everybody that I know that plays or wants or thinks about playing Xenoblade Chronicles. Like, all these games are the same. You cannot rush through them. They're not designed to be rushed through.
Well, I'm not. I took my time. I took my time with the game.
No.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Okay.
So I was having an okay time with the game. But there are certain like random spikes in the game that just make no sense. And I know you think this is a perfect game. I have issues with this
I've never
game.
said that. Shut up.
So I have issues with like two things in the game.
Are we going into spoilers? Let's just throw it out there now.
Yeah, we are going.
Okay, we're going. Well,
I'm not gonna necessarily spoil the game. I'm gonna try to avoid it. But
okay,
yeah,
but you're gonna hear names of things.
Yeah, you're gonna hear names of things.
Okay,
yeah. So, for instance, I'll say the disciple, the disciples, the main disciple guys, dragon. Right, you fight him before you fight the actual disciple, and then you fight the god. That you know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The end of you're talking about the very end. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So the dragon, right? He is resistant to spike, to aura seal. And there's no way to know that until you fight him. And you're like, oh, I can't un-oral seal him.
Yeah.
Well, when you try to do it, it randomly does it. Sometimes you do it, sometimes you don't. And then you're like, okay, I must need to get spike resistance gems. So I did do that. I went back, farmed me some spike resistance gems. Boom, got it. Cool. I fight the disciple. This dude, his aura seal cannot be broken at all. So you know what you got to do? You have to use fucking Melia, and you have to fucking kite him every time he goes. You for me at least, I was level 78 when I beat the game.
Yeah.
So for me, every time he went, how Shulk sees into the future, he's about to do a
Yeah.
move or whatever.
Yeah.
I kited out of the way to where it broke it by itself. So you just run, you take everybody, you give them the command, and you tell everybody to follow you, and you run to the other side of the arena until he breaks it. He starts following you guys
Oh my God.
again. So I was doing that, and I was kiting him, and I beat him. But it took me like 4 tries to get that, and I'm like, bro,
I don't know. I don't not understand what you guys are talking about. This I guess it's probably because I'm a completionist and I probably did everything in the game. So I was like fucking, I don't know. Maybe I was uber powered or something, but
yeah.
I have no memory of this shit being this hard. Like, any time I've played Xenoblade Chronicles 1.
Bro, so if you're not over leveled, the game is insane.
I'm not. I wasn't over leveled though, dude. Like, I'm telling you right now, when I played through the definitive edition, I specifically lowered my levels to boss level every time I did a story battle. Like in the entire run.
Well, did you have other Monados? I didn't even know there were other Monados in the game until Andy was like, "Yeah, I got other Monados," and I'm like, "Bro, what?" He's like, "Yeah, I got the attack Monado, I got this Monado, I got the other Monado."
Yeah.
I'm like,
"Oh yeah, I did."
So I didn't know that. The only thing I upgraded was 7 characters drones.
Yeah.
So I upgraded their drones or whatever, and I was like, okay, cool. But I didn't know you can get different Monados. That's not spoiling anything, but it's just like, yeah, be look out on the side quest, you can get different Monados. Mm-hmm. So then I fight him and I beat it. Oh, so he has like a half phase, like a 1.5 phase. You get him down to like half health. He's like, I'm about to really go crazy now. Full health again. I'm like, bro, what the fuck is this game? So they do a cutscene and then full health again, and I have to do the exact same strategy all over again. Yeah. So I'm sweating, I'm beating it. I'm like, all right, fuck, okay, I beat him, whatever. And I know I didn't fight the god yet, so I'm like, all right, whatever the god brings me. Mm-hmm. So I go into the universe or whatever. We're flying around, we're walking around the universe. I fight, several different old bosses in the game. I beat them with ease. They're no problem, whatever. Suck my dick. So I beat them, and then I get to the god boss. And this motherfucker has like 4 phases. And I'm like, bro, what is this game?
That fight is nuts, dude. Oh my God. Yeah, I remember that fight because, dude, I don't remember this, but I think if you died at any point, I think it's...
You have to do the entire thing over.
You have to do the entire thing over? Yeah, yes. I think that was true. Okay, yeah, that shit was bonkers, dude, for sure. Well, because there's sections of the fight where you don't have the full party available either.
Yes, exactly.
And those sections are very dicey because you do not have a good complement of healing or what have you.
While I love the game, you definitely, if you have been coasting through the game without knowledge of the battle system, which you shouldn't have, which I commend Monolith Soft for that. They're like, you need to know the systems of the game before you get to the
end boss. They design their games almost like FromSoft. I know it's weird. I know it's a weird comparison because they're totally different games, but the
design philosophy is the same.
Exactly. They want you to play the game their way. And
yeah. You have to know certain parts of the game because even if you know the games, they will break their own games. Well, you learned Orasil? Well, guess what? He's resistant to Orasil. What are you gonna do now?
Yeah, it's like figure it out, bitch.
So it's like, as far as like RPGs, like I will say yes. Like as far as I don't want to call this a turn-based RPG, but like a JRPG or anything like that. It's not comparable to Dark Souls as far as that, but it's comparable to Dark Souls as far as like you need to be knowledgeable of the game and use every tool that the game has to offer to your disposal at these last moments of the game, because they will test you. And I'm assuming Xenoblade Chronicles may be the same way or maybe easier, depending on the design philosophy they went with Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Interesting thing about Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I wiped my whole save file for that. Let's not get into that. So I have to start all the way the fuck over.
The fuck are you talking about? You said you were on chapter 6. What happened?
I was on chapter 6 and I clicked too fast and I hit the new game and then it wiped everything out because they don't have multiple save files.
Dude, what? Yeah. Oh my God, bro. You're fucking with me right now. That's horrible. I'm so sorry.
It's all good. I played before that happened. I did get a chance to play it and I had no idea what the fuck I was doing as far as battle wise. I was like, I am totally lost.
Yeah.
That game is Xenoblade Chronicles 1. You can pick up. You can put it down and then come back to it and pick it up.
Yeah.
That combat is simple to learn difficult to master.
Mhm.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is just complicated.
Yeah,
I was lost. I'm like,
it
bro,
is.
what am I doing?
No, there's so many things happening in 2 where it's like you like certain characters do certain things, and then that activates an effect which makes your
Yep.
character run faster, and then, like, you'll use your blade and that will do a thing, and then you can fucking, I don't know, you can, like, combo that into something. It's a fucking insane.
Yeah.
Um,
So in that being said, since I did watch the cutscenes all the way up until then, I can kind of blaze through the game as far as like
oh, yeah.
um you know
Story, yeah.
story wise. But I do need to relearn the combat, so it's a good thing in the it's a blessing in disguise because I do need to relearn the combat. There's no way I was looking at my builds for certain characters and I'm just like I don't even know where I was going with this
Yeah,
a year or two ago when I was playing the game.
right.
So it's just good from that aspect. So that's all I got to say about that game. I will
Well,
say though,
so I want to jump in on one real quick. I
yeah,
want to say I don't think it's a perfect game. It's one of my favorite games ever. Yes, there's a difference though. I have long said that Xenoblade Chronicles 1 has many problems that I understand people cannot get past. They don't bother me. I love the game for them. It makes the game better in my eyes. However, everybody's not me. So
yeah,
I
yeah.
totally get it. I get the blockage that you guys had with the game that you couldn't push through, but this is why I insist people play it though, is because you and Andy both had the same fucking experience with it when you started pushing through it, where you're both texting me like about the story and you're like, what the fuck, dude? Like, what is fucking going on in this game? Like, I'm like, yeah, it gets better. It gets better. It gets better. And it fucking gets better. Like, it's fucking insanity. The game is
No, yeah, the story wise, it's not on Baten Kato's level where you do something happens with your main character, but it is on that level where something happens with your main character, and it's like and other characters, and you're like, "Yo, this is all." And then you go back and play the game or look at certain events in the game, it was like all
the
there too.
foreshadowing is all there, dude. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
all it's really funny because yeah, I'm okay. So we did say we were spoiling a little bit. So yeah, if you like pay attention to Dixon throughout the game, you will see what happens with him probably coming a little bit more. Like there are some moments that are really weird with him,
yeah,
and Alvis as well. Actually,
yep,
Andy picked out some facts about Alvis pretty early in the game. Like he realized some things about that I was surprised that he picked up on. But yeah, it's all there, dude. Like if you're really paying attention. There are some twists that I don't think most people would be able to guess, specifically at the very, very end of the game. Like,
yes. So okay,
yeah.
so major fucking spoilers. I turn away right now, bro. When they were on the ship overlooking Earth, and he pressed the button, I was like, "Yo, what?"
Yeah, man, he blew up the universe, man. He pressed the red button and he didn't know what it was gonna do, and he blew up the universe.
That's crazy.
Son of a bitch. Yeah. So that's the funny part about it. That's where I wonder if X is somehow connected to these games as well.
Yes, I was just about to
Because
go to that.
yeah, that universe is ours. Like that's Earth that he was looking
Yeah,
at. Like that was like our version of Earth, basically. So yeah, so I don't know if he blew up the whole universe. Maybe he just blew up the galaxy, and X is like after that, maybe.
mm,
Yeah, so yeah, it's basically like I don't I don't remember the exact fine details of like if they're still in a computer program or not. I don't think so, but Alvis still acts like a computer though at certain points, like an AI basically. So maybe I guess.
yeah. So
But
I took it as like maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. I took it as like Elvis is like he's like the computer that's left over. The world is actually blowing up, or the
it's like a
also the
real world,
galaxy.
but he's like a steward basically.
Yeah,
That's how I
and
take it. Yeah.
yeah. So that's what I took it as well. Like, but yeah, that revelation where they're a scientist and they just so happened to blow up the universe and then their data was still there or whatever and they became those two were the Macanis and Bionis like
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
fucking
Well,
crazy to me.
okay. Isn't Egale one of the coolest villains? I fucking love that dude so much, dude. I love the way he interacts with Shulk like throughout the entirety of his section of the game. Because he is so determined to prove Shulk wrong, like at every turn. And it's just I don't know. I just eat it up. I love it. It's so good. That moment where he like turns the Mechonis on and he fucking turns the sword and throws everybody off of it, dude. And he's in the middle of this, he's like taunting Shulk, like goddamn, bro.
It's like, how many people do you think died on that swing? I was like, damn.
Fucking Christ, dude. It's so ruthless. I loved it. I loved it. I love that character so much.
Well, it comes back around to like he was kind of right about everything.
Yeah,
like,
man. Yeah. That's the thing about villains, right? Is like they're kind of a good villain. There's a kernel of truth to their perspective,
Yeah.
and that's when you get like a really good villain, a lot of the time. And yeah, he's just super good. I always the part, dude. It's like heartbreaking though when him and Shulk like kind of come to terms.
Oh yeah, then
Basically.
Dixon just kills
And
him,
it
man.
fucking, oh my god, it kills me every time, dude. Because I'm like, dude, they're gonna do it, man. They're gonna do it. They're doing it. They're doing it. Oh, they're doing. Oh no.
The foreshadowing was there with Dixon, right?
Yeah. Oh.
But the game was so good. Like Dixon says, one line was like, "Yeah, it's almost about to happen" or something like that. I'm like, "Oh, Dixon's about to turn on somebody," right?
Yeah.
So I knew it was coming, but the game was so good that I legitimately forgot Dixon was there and he shot him. I was like,
yeah, man.
Some Game of Thrones type shit. That shit was really good. I was like, yo, this is a good fucking.
Good
Deanna came in there while all this was going on, and she was trying to talk to me, and I was not listening to her. I was like, she was like, oh, you're clearly into this story right now. I'm like, yes. I was like, I'll be right with you. Just a lot of stuff just happened. Yeah, so
no, it's good shit, man. It's good shit.
Yeah,
there's some really great moments in the game, but that's my favorite one though. It's like the whole Mechonis section of the game is just, oh my god, it's fucking beautiful. I just love that whole section of the game. I think I think the tone they set throughout it is like, obviously there's some desperation, but it's also just beautiful. Like there's a lot of really great music in the Mechonis sections of the game that I think like really set a tone that it's like it's a really sad place,
well, it paints when you finally get to Mechonis, you're expecting like, at least for me, right? I was expecting like huge battles.
Yeah, big resistance, right? And it's fucking empty.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fucking empty. Nobody lives there except for one dude. It's fucking sad as shit, dude. Like it's super fucking sad. Yeah,
you got these people that live on the foot of the Mechonis, and or maybe not even on the foot. I think it's like on the ruins of the Mechonis or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just like they're just there, and they're like, "Hey, yeah, we're cool people." And you're like, "Wait, you don't want to kill us?" No. What the fuck is wrong with y'all?
Yeah, we like Homs.
So like all that, it kind of just threw you for a loop because you've been on this mission with Shulk to kill everyone on the Mechonis. Like he's like, I'm gonna kill every fucking Mechon I see. And then even before he gets to Mechonis, he's like, he discovers that Homs are inside of some of the faces, and he's like, well, maybe not kill all the Mechons. But then Ryan is still on that like I'm gonna kill everybody type deal, and he's like, all right, you gotta chill, guys, because I can't kill Homs. I'm going to kill the Metcons, but not the Homs. I don't know. It was just really cool. It was a really cool ride to see everything go down like that.
Yeah.
It was very anime, but it was like a good anime. So I didn't really care about the tropes that did, because they do have anime tropes in there, but it was really good anime tropes. I will say compared to like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I know you said after chapter 6 the story gets better. I don't know. I feel like for Xenoblade Chronicles 1, the story leading up, so the problem I have with Xenoblade Chronicles 2 compared to Xenoblade Chronicles 1, and I can immediately tell what it is, I don't have someone terrorizing me the entire time through.
I mean, you do. They're just not nearly as interesting. The fucking what's his name, Jin and
and Malos.
They're just not as compelling. I'm sorry. I will stand by. I will stand by this till the end of my days. Is that I think Metal Face is one of the best early early villains in almost anything I've ever experienced. Like, he is so menacing and like ruthlessly so, to the point where he so clearly enjoys how much he is haunting the party that it's like, but they can't fucking beat him, you know? It's like, it's just so, it's like it's such a fucking great villain to have at the first part of your story, you know? Somebody that is truly a threat, that like proves they're a threat really early, and then becomes an antagonist that is just like, the party wants to kill this guy so bad and they can't do it, you know, for so long. And when they finally do, this is why I love the game too. Like, the story in the game is, when they finally do beat this fucking guy, they introduce another villain right after that who's way more menacing. Like,
Well, even then, when they did beat him, it wasn't as satisfying as they wanted to be. Just the way the story takes place, and just like, like when they find out who Meadowface was and everything of that nature, and why he was acting the way he was acting, it's just like, they're like, man, he didn't even really know what he was doing. Like, he was under the mind control of someone else. And it's like, that's not satisfying. Like, you think this person that you're about to kill, that's, you know, killed all your loved ones, you think you know them, and then once you find out what's behind it, you're like,
well, you also think you're about to put like a big blow against the Mechon, and then you find out that it's like, whatever, dude, like, I've got like I've got a million more of these, you know, it's like hanging out in the closet, you know. So that's the thing, is like, they beat him, and then then you meet Egil very shortly after that, and this motherfucker turns the Monado off. Like, it's like, what? It's just such a great transition in from different sections of the game, in my opinion, because Metalface being defeated is like the end of the beginning of the game, right? Like, even though that's a huge section of the game, by the way, like that's a lot of the game. Like I'm talking, that's hours and hours and hours, like probably 20 or 30 if you're just rushing. So it's like, it's a very long burn, or slow burn, I guess, but dude, it just, I don't know. I think it pays off great. And they do this all the time. Whereas 2, this is my problem with 2, is I just don't find the villains compelling in 2. And I think this is a mistake they made, because in 1, the villain they introduce is not the final villain, you know, like, but, and this is spoilers for 2, but in 2, like, they're there the whole time pretty much, like, you know, and it's weird that you're fighting them at the beginning of the game on an even keel, and then they're still around later, and they're more powerful than they were at the beginning of the game. Like, it's kind of weird, because it just feels like they should have beaten you down early, and they don't, for no real reason. You know, it's like, it's just kind of arbitrary, and it hurts the whole game, in my opinion.
Yeah. So I don't know. I haven't gotten that far, but if you're talking about who I think you're talking about, like, it's just some certain parts where you just run away from things. I'm just like, and they just let you run away. I'm trying to remember with like Meadowface. I think he always left a boss. He's like, oh, you can take care of this person, like, whatever. I don't really care, or whatever. But he was like antagonizing you the entire time, or whatever. So I don't know. It's just weird how, like, 2.
Well, there was like a personal motivation with Metalface. He didn't want to kill them because of his connection with them. Like, he really wanted to like fucking antagonize them. Like, it wasn't just about killing them for him, you know?
But you had your character and the characters around you had a motivation of why they wanted to do what they wanted to do.
Yeah, right.
I feel like in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, it's almost like, it's like, hey, let's go on this adventure. Oh, I got some money. Oh, okay, I found this sword. Oh, now it's the girl in this sword. Cool. I have to help her for some reason because she's hot.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's got giant anime boobies. That's that sort of feels like half the time. It's like Rex is like some creeper who's like enamored with her, but won't say that. Nobody will say that either.
His whole motivation at the beginning, right, is like, I need to get to Elysium because, like, I'm tired of everybody fighting for land on the Titans or whatever. And it's like, all right, cool.
But why? Like, why is
But
he the one that like
yeah,
that's the part of
like
the game that I feel like is maybe I don't remember. It's been a while since I played too, but like I feel like it's not really explained, you know?
no, it's not. I'm on chapter 6, and it's really not explained. Maybe I think they explain a little bit in chapter 5, but they still give you flashbacks of you fighting or Pyra or Mithra, Pyra and Mithra, or Mithra rather, with Adam and all that other stuff like that. And they still have like a cloak on Adam, so I still don't know who Adam is.
Yeah.
And then I have a guess who Adam is, but like I still know who Adam is and all this stuff. And they still don't tell me why, like, because they keep doing this anime shit where they like especially when fucking Rex grabs the Aegis for the first time, and they're like, "I was right. He is," and they just never elaborate after that. I'm like, "He is what? He is what? Wow, we were right. He is."
Yeah.
I'm like, "All right, Jen, like, shut the fuck up, bro.
Yeah.
Like, just either say what Rex is, or say what he's not. Like, I need to know. Like, is he the chosen one? He's a descendant of like Adam or something like that, or whatever the fuck. Like, I
Right.
need to know,
Yeah.
like a reincarnation or something like that. But they never really tell me. I mean, they probably won't tell me later on in the game. I'm assuming, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there were cool moments like with like Tora and his father and everything like that, and Poppy and I
Yeah.
like that little side story. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But even like I feel like Nia's arc was
Mm-hmm.
whack as hell. In my opinion, I think she deserved more. Maybe she gets another arc later on in the chapters, but I feel like her arc was like really, really underwhelming. We had to save her, and then we still don't know. Like, there's still a lot of stuff I don't know about Nia, like how
Yeah.
old she really
I think
is
there's
and
more. I
everything.
think there's more. Yeah. There's more.
Okay, because I like, to be honest, like she's one of my favorite characters
Now,
so
I
far.
don't. Yeah, she is one of my favorite characters too. And to be honest, I actually don't like what they do with her ultimately.
Okay.
That's my problem with 2. I just think 2, like, it's still a good game. Like, I'd even still go so far as to say great, but I just think it falters in a lot of little ways that 1 doesn't. It kind of fails its own story and its own characters a lot. And there's a lot of anime tropes in this game that are kind of almost unforgivable anime tropes. They're kind of annoying. Like there's like shonen type power ups that happen later in the game and stuff, and it's fucking weird, man. Like it's just like I don't know. I don't want to ruin the game for you. So the game is still good. I think it gets much better later, like especially like super late. There's a lot of really cool reveals, but that's my issue with 2 though, is that it takes way too long to get there, and there's not enough satisfying stuff before it gets there.
Yeah, and it's more what's the word I'm looking for? Like palpable in
Yeah,
1.
yeah.
It's more palpable in 1
Well,
because
there's an engaging arc there
yeah,
before you find anything out. I think
yeah,
the Mechon arc, like the early game Mechon arc, is engaging on its own without anything else that you learn later. Um, I think it's really interesting to learn about the Mechon, and there's some really like the whole arc with Vord in the Bionis leg section of the
yeah,
game is like that's a really cool section of the game that's like kind of forgotten completely by the end of the game. Like nobody talks about it again, but it's like to me, I love that section of the game. It's really fucking creepy and fucked up. Um,
yeah,
and I think it's really effective though at illustrating what they're up against.
yeah.
Early in the game.
I just feel like the game. So, like Xenoblade Chronicles 1, I can say like the main missions and everything play out like you're watching an anime, and then like the side quests are like really tasteful, like
Mm-hmm.
filler episodes.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, there's like, okay, we have the first manga that we're gonna cover, like the first couple of chapters, and then
Yeah.
everything else is filler.
It's
And
filler for
then
like a quarter of the game, yeah, and then
yeah,
they even have the tropey like mentor character who dies.
oh my god, yeah, exactly. And it's like
Oh shit.
it's just so it's so anime. I feel like it suffers from modern day anime. That's what I feel like it suffers from. Xenoblade Chronicles 1 is kind of written in that old style of anime, in my opinion. It was really dark. but had his light moments.
Yeah.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is written like current anime. Like I can't really name any current anime, but
But
like a lot of
it's
anime,
like light and happy all the time until
yeah,
it
it
gets
feels like
serious.
it has to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like people were complaining, like I did a Google search too, like fan service or whatever, because it was really jarring in Xenoblade, like coming from Xenoblade Chronicles 1. Like Charlotte, okay, yeah, she has like some open chest armor, right? You know what I'm saying? And it's like that's really your only eye candy. Oh, besides one of the Telethia, I forgot her name, Melania, Mel- what's Melina's like fucking house servant or whatever. She's not a servant, but
I
she's one of the
forget.
disciples later on in the game.
Yeah, the one of the three.
Yeah,
Yeah, what's her fucking name?
yeah, I forgot her
It
name.
starts with an M. Yeah, I know. I
Yeah,
can't remember the annoying boss. The
Melithia.
annoying boss.
Yeah,
That was.
yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
god, yeah, her fucking boss fight was fucking annoying.
Yeah.
But it was fun though. Once I used Melia, that was a really fun fight. I like that character, man. That's a good fucking character. That was a
Yeah,
very unique character.
I do. Yeah,
But
I think the combat design for a lot of the characters in one is top notch.
yeah, but yeah. So you had fan service with her as well. I don't think her armor was like that bad. I don't know. We only see her on screen for a couple moments though. Like it's
Yeah,
not
she's not
bad.
there very long. Yeah.
Yeah, but like Pyra and Mithra, it was just
Oh
like
my
I'm
God.
like, bro, every scene, like you have no choice but to look at her boobs. Like
Yeah.
they're just there.
Yeah.
Pyra was a little bit more palatable because like the
At
black
least it's
or her
covered up. Yeah.
her armor kind of covers it up sometimes. But then they do a back shot. I forgot this bitch is wearing a thong, like a see-through panties or see-through shorts in a thong, bro. And I'm like, bro, what? What? I never noticed it until I was watching like the movies and stuff or the cutscenes. I'm like,
Well,
bro,
it's also double weird because she's not human.
yeah,
You
she's a
know?
blade.
Yeah, she's a blade. So the whole thing there is weird. And the game doesn't. I don't really remember the game ever
No,
exploring
so
how
the
weird that
game
is.
does explore if you like talk to some of the side characters later on in the game. I do remember this part before I deleted my file.
Mm-hmm.
They did sometime the blades did marry the humans.
Yeah.
So that was a thing like 500 years ago, whatever the fuck.
Okay.
So I do remember that part, but it's still weird because I'm like, then she turns into Mithra, and then Mithra it's like it's always in your face. Like every once in a while, cool, here and there, boom,
Well,
boom,
the
wow.
implications of it are weird though, because some blades aren't human; they're like animals.
You right.
Like Nia's blade is a fucking tiger. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I don't know.
I don't know. I guess like if you want to go down that route, you can, bro. If you
I'm
don't, then
just
you don't
saying,
have
man.
to.
I'm just saying, dude. Like, I don't know. It's weird. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is weird. It's a weird game.
Yeah, it is weird. I do like the blade concept. I think they should have stick with that because I actually like that shit a lot. But it's just
Mm-hmm.
like from just watching the cutscenes and because if you watch the cutscenes, it actually flows together. Like I said, really well. Like you don't have to play the game. I feel like I was watching the anime. I was like, this is a really good fucking anime, man. Like whoa.
Yeah,
I was like eating popcorn and shit, eating dinner,
yeah,
watching it and shit like that.
yeah.
So it's really cool. But actually, that's actually to the game's detriment because there's just a lot of shit. I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of filler shit in that
Yeah,
uh
there
that
is.
you don't need to do. Like
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, I really don't have to do a lot of
Well,
this
they
shit.
like
Like a
give you
lot
an
of
excuse to go to every continent too, like every
yeah,
Titan. Like I feel like you didn't really need to do that for some of them. You know.
yeah. So, but I'm a hurry up and speed through it, or not speed through it, speed to where I got to in chapter 6, and then take my time. Xenoblade Chronicles X, I did finally get a good ROM and PC port. I just booted it up. I played it only for an hour. Plays all right. I'm probably going to play this next on my list.
Man, you're not gonna go to 3.
Man, I'm playing everything.
Oh my god, dude. I
I
mean,
probably will play 3.
you
Before
gotta
I play.
play
I
3.
really want
Okay.
to play X.
So yeah, let me talk about 3. I know you want to play X, but play X afterwards. That's like that's like a dessert, I feel like, Like
Yeah.
you've gone through the storyline of Xenoblade Chronicles. Now you need to get to the gameplay of Xenoblade Chronicles, with the really good shit with X. But Yeah, so 3 I am 57, 56 hours in, I think, at this point. I've been doing nothing other than play this game pretty much at this point for the last like week. I'm all the way in on this. I played a little Apex, which we'll talk about in a second, but I'm pretty much all in on this game. So I'm enjoying it a lot. I finally hit the break point in the story where you start getting some reveals. Now I'm most of those reveals so far have just created more questions that don't have answers yet. So I'm still in that section of the game where, it's not, you haven't learned anything concrete really yet. This is my biggest issue with this game is 3, it doesn't have filler the way that 2 does, or at least I don't feel like it. Like everything you're doing makes sense, and what the characters are like, where they are and what they're doing all makes sense, but I just think it drags on too long before you learn anything concrete. I mean, I'm talking like 40, 30. I mean, this is me. So remember, I'm playing pretty completionist. I'm doing most of the side quests and exploring most of the zones pretty thoroughly. So it took me probably 40 hours before I got to the point where I was like at that story moment where I really like started to learn some good shit. And I think that's like too long. I think a lot of people who aren't like super into Xenoblade Chronicles would hit a wall before they got there, to be honest with you. And if you didn't play the prior games too, I think some of the things that happen might not, they would fall, they kind of fall a little flat for you. Not flat, but they would be dulled a bit, I guess, in their effect. Because there are some things referenced from the first 2 games that happen that, I picked up on, and it's like, oh, fuck, like, okay, you know, there's more questions coming from that. Where some people who didn't play those games, they'd have no idea what that is. They would just, it would just be a whatever to them. They wouldn't even think about it. So or what the importance of that really is. So to me, it's like I don't know. I like the game a lot, but I do think it suffers from the same thing 2 does, where the story just takes forever to get to the point. And I don't know. But I will say it's saved for me by the party. I really like the party in this game a lot. I think these characters are really good. They're genuinely they genuinely have some funny moments, and they're genuinely they have like really cool interactions with each other that I enjoy a lot. In particular, I really like so far my favorite 2 are probably like Noah and Uni. I enjoy them a lot. I like Tyon as well, but I kind of like all of them, but this is like degrees, right? Like my favorite ones are probably Uni, Noah, but so I think the voice acting performances from them are pretty solid overall. The only one I would question is maybe Senna a little bit, but she's the only one that doesn't talk with like a English Scottish accent. So she's got an American accent, which sticks out sometimes in some of these cutscenes. But combat wise, this game is very interesting. It's deep. It's very deep. I don't know if it's as complicated as 2 was. But again, I haven't played 2 in a while, so maybe I'm misremembering. But it's got a lot of systems going on. There's the Ouroboros, like, melding system where you can combine 2 characters together to make like basically like a weird Gundam kind of form or whatever. And then there's also just normal human combat, but then there's chain attacks, which I was talking with Andy about this earlier, actually. So chain attacks in this game are really cool. I like what they've done with them. However, what I will say is they are kind of a crutch to a degree that I'm starting to not like them as much because there are times where I feel like they're so necessary to be able to beat certain bosses that it kind of takes away from the flow of the rest of the combat for me a little bit, because they're like huge, like chain attacks in this game are like humongous interruptions to your combat flow, where you're like you go into this basically like cutscene mode for like 3 or 4 minutes, where you're basically just watching these animations that you've seen like 30,000 times already in the game play out over and over and over again. And it's like hyper effective to the point where I could take off half or like 75% of a boss's health with like one well executed chain attack in this game. Whereas doing that outside of a chain attack would take fucking forever sometimes. But I've gotten to the point though where I am becoming less reliant on chain attacks. My party feels really powerful now. And where like normal combat, I am killing regular shitty little enemies in like 5 or 10 seconds. But even the like elites, I'm killing pretty quickly as well compared to early in the game. It's just that the combat takes, I don't know, 10 hours probably to get going, and once it does, like you have everything at your disposal, and it's great from there. And the class system is really cool. There's a lot of depth there, and like combining all the skills and kind of building your characters out properly. That's really awesome. It's just I think that the chain attack thing is like kind of a weird thing, because there's times where I'm kind of getting sick of chain attacks where I don't want to watch the like animations play out anymore, but you can't skip them. So it's either you do the chain attack and watch the whole thing, or you don't do them at all, and you're just fighting the enemy normally. But that's more difficult a lot of the time. So yeah, I don't know. I'm enjoying the game a lot. I'm looking forward to seeing how this game is tied into the first two. There are references to the first two games fucking all over the place. It is bonkers like how much is here. So I'm going to be interested to see how they're all connected for sure. But Montreal, I really recommend when you finish 2 that you jump into 3. Like even if you're playing it side by side with X, maybe that's the way you need to go. But I just think it's probably better for you to have the stories of the first 2 games really fresh going into 3. I don't have that right now, but I'm still enjoying it a lot. So I think it would be even more for you, where you'd probably see even more shit than I am at this point. So, but yeah, enjoying that game a lot. Yeah. So Apex, we both played a little bit of Apex, the new patch since it came out. Montreal, how are you feeling about the game right now?
Yeah, so about Apex. To be honest with you, I know we had some gripes yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually like where the game is headed, or the current state of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that level change was the change it needed. I don't feel like I'm running into as many hackers as I was before. That's just me. Even when
Yeah.
me and Brad were playing, because Brad has a high level. Like I think Brad's a higher level than you guys.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
he's on the same level as a Jet. And when I was playing duos with Jet, I feel like me and Jet were playing. We had some pretty even battles, and we even won a duos game. With me and him, usually kind of butt heads is how we play, because I usually rush in, and he usually stays back.
Mm-hmm.
But it was working out. So as far as that, I feel like it's okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, I know we ran into some gripes yesterday. That was like, out of all the times I have been playing, that was like the first time I was running into any kind of issues.
Well,
Which was
I
yesterday.
also think a lot of that was on us, dude.
Yeah,
I don't think we were playing very well in a lot of those situations. There was just yeah. When I died first, I was kind of watching sometimes, and I was like, man, yeah, we're not playing very well right now. Like we weren't like playing together a lot either. Like we were kind of separating ourselves and getting
yeah,
isolated, and yeah, it wasn't the best, but we did have some good moments though. Despite that, like I feel like I had some like really fucking good games scattered in there. Like that one we were talking about, like, it's just that feeling, if this feels like an anime thing, but like I had that feeling of like when I was sitting there healing and that person was coming around the door, I just had this like zen moment where I like went into a zone where I'm like I knew exactly what to do to beat this guy. And so like I threw the thermite down to block him so I could heal. that was like the first thing I did. I was like, all right, I'm gonna block the door and then I'm gonna heal. And this guy's gonna try to fucking, do something. He's probably gonna try to get his teammate up or whatever. And that's exactly what he did. And then I ran in there, and then we fucking fought, and I ended up killing him by the skin of my teeth. But it just felt so like satisfying to win that
yeah,
engagement, because I felt so confident in that moment. I was like, I fucking have this guy. I know exactly what I need to do here, and it worked out. So But yeah, Apex it's fun. I think the state of the game is good right now. Overall, as
Yeah,
much
I
as
think
yeah, go
I
ahead.
think that level cap they did, I think that was like the perfect thing for them to do.
Oh
And it's kind of
yeah.
weird that if that's the thing that's like fucking with their matchmaking, they seriously need to fix that shit.
Also,
That's
why
not.
did it take them 14 seasons to do that?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, come on, bro. Like, give me a break, guys. Like, come on, Respawn. Like this is something people have been clamoring for fucking 3 years, you know? And it took you this long to come up with the idea of doing this. Like, come on, man. Like, are you guys this cheap? Like, I get that you're heirlooms are like a big part of the game's appeal for selling fucking like packs and shit, but um I get that, but at the same time, it's like, dude, you have so many of them now, and you should have known that you would have eventually had so many of them that it wouldn't matter if you gave one away for free. Especially the fact that you have to play the game an asinine amount of time to get one for free. How many people are actually going to do that? Like actually achieve that. So it's kind of frustrating that it took this long, but I'm happy it's here because I'm with you. It now feels like I'm at like 499, I think, right now, about to hit 500. So I'm about to cycle back through the levels, going back up. It's nice because now I have something to play for again. Like
Yeah.
you're getting rewards for playing, and you're just getting them for just playing the game. So which is a nice change of pace for sure.
Yeah, no, like I think it's a really good change of pace. I think it separates a lot of people as far as like skill level and everything of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It felt really good just to play against people that I knew were either same level as me or just better than me.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't have any kind of like hacks assisting them or anything like that. If that makes any sense. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and I just want to say this about the wingman nerf. So playing the game, I haven't felt it yet, and maybe I will, but it isn't that big of a deal. It feels like so far. It still feels like a pretty extreme nerf, but um, I don't use the wingman to such a degree where I'm just constantly spamming the shit out of it. So my style of play with it may be okay, but you know, I mean the gun's still broken as shit if you hit your shots. So
yeah.
fucking insane how much damage that thing does. But yeah, so it's okay. It's okay. I'll live through it. But the new character also Vantage, I think is really fucking cool. This
Yeah,
legitimately may be my
and
new main.
surprisingly balanced.
Yeah. Well, I was
Uh,
thinking about this yesterday when we were playing, and I'm like, they actually made a character that because somebody was talking about I saw somebody on Twitter, like a pro player. He was talking about, certain characters, and he was like so many of you don't understand how much your character is carrying you in Apex, the character you play. And I was thinking about that in context of Vantage, and I'm like, honestly, this feels like a really balanced character here because everything she does is skill based, like your placement of Echo and usage of Echo. That's totally a skill based thing. It's not like it's not just like free, it's not like Wraith where you just get to like hit Q and you fucking disappear and nobody can hurt you. It's like you
yeah.
have to be really thoughtful with how you use Vantage's abilities. And the sniper rifle is totally skill based. You have to be able to hit your shots with it, or
So
otherwise it's
so
useless.
so he was saying that certain characters' abilities carry them as far as like they don't
Like
have certain.
they're inherently so good that your skill level doesn't matter. They just make you
Oh
like,
yeah,
yeah,
I feel the same fucking way about certain. I
yeah,
mean, we all feel that way about certain characters in MOBAs as well. So
right,
yeah, I
yeah.
definitely understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like where piloting them isn't like there's a certain level of skill you need to have to pilot certain characters at the level of other characters.
yeah,
Like
yep.
you need to be a higher skill level piloting to be like as good with, let's say, I'll just say Vantage or Fuse, for instance, is probably another good one. Like Fuse, to pilot him to the point where you're as effective as a normal average Wraith player
Octane player.
or Octane or yeah, like you need a lot more skill to hit that. with certain characters than others. Like Wraith, yeah, Octane for sure, fucking Valkyrie, and they fucking nerfed Valkyrie into the ground, so she's fucking dead, bro. As far as I'm concerned, they killed
You know
her.
what? Good riddance,
Good
bro. That
riddance.
character is so fucking
Fuck
broken.
her, dude. Like she was toxic as shit, man. I'm so
Yeah.
glad they did that shit to her. Yeah, it's her pre-nerf, Valkyrie. I'm trying to think. Oh, Bangalore. Yeah, of course.
Fucking Gibby.
Yeah, Gibby.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's plenty of them, but I think the point is well taken for sure. And I think Vantage is in a good spot as a result, ultimately. And I think that's why I like Ash so much too. She's in that similar category. I don't think she's that easy to play. She's simple to understand, but I think playing her effectively is not that easy,
Yeah.
So I think that's why she's a cool character too. And I think she's well balanced,
It's probably why a lot of people don't really pick her as much. I don't really see too many Ashes. I see some of them, but I don't see a lot of them.
Which is weird because I think she's like a hyper effective character, actually.
Yeah, she's really cool.
Yeah, so. Her ult is fucking insane. I still think her ult is crazy good, but yeah. So I don't know. I think Apex is in a good place. I definitely want to play it more for sure.
You say that now. Next week we're gonna be complaining, y'all.
Yeah,
keep it locked.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest, dude. I'm telling you the truth here. Like when I say this, like Vantage is really changing the game for me, in a way that like I fucking really dig, because I can now play the game the way I want to play it, and still have a sniper rifle. Like I basically you get 3 weapons basically with her, and I know the sniper isn't meant to kill people, which it isn't, but you can still down people at certain points if you hit your shots,
Yeah.
I did that a couple times yesterday where I just like bot, person's down. It doesn't matter what their fucking shield level is. You hit them 3 times in a row, they're going down, and it's so you get 5 shots. You can do that once, and then you can, break someone else, which I find really effective. So I like that flexibility that the character's kind of given me, in that regard, because now I can run like car, wingman, and then have her sniper ult, and I have weapons for all 3 ranges, for short, mid, and long range, and it's like I know this is like this is gonna sound crazy, but I kind of feel like I wouldn't mind if they let people carry a 3rd weapon.
I was thinking about that too, actually. When you were talking about you mentioned this same thing, when you first started playing there, and I was like, yeah, that would be cool if I can carry just like a 3rd weapon, or maybe a 3rd character-based weapon that only the character can play, something like that. I don't know. I think that would
with like limited ammo or something, or you could pick a weapon. You could pick a weapon pre-game that, like, if you find it, it can fill a 3rd slot maybe or something, or maybe only certain types of weapons could go in that 3rd slot, like marksman weapons or snipers or something. And I don't know, people would probably think that's controversial because then everybody would be carrying a sniper all the time, but I don't know. I understand it would hurt the equilibrium of the game, definitely. I think people wouldn't have to sacrifice anything if there was a 3rd weapon slot, so it probably won't happen, but I think it would up my enjoyment level of the game though tremendously. So that's why I'm liking Vantage so far for sure. So
alrighty then.
Good stuff. Okay, let's move on, Montrell, to the news. We don't have much news to talk about this week, but we will discuss what we have here. So our first story comes from last week. Sony and Microsoft have been kind of going at it in Brazil, where there is an investigation going on into Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard, and Sony has been kind of jabbing them within the submitting like legal documentation to the Brazilian government, trying to argue that this sale is not shouldn't happen because it would make it hard for them to compete against Microsoft. And they reference Call of Duty being a game that has no rival and is so popular that it influences users' choice of console, which I find interesting because it's on all consoles, which is a weird statement, but it is I think what they're trying to argue is that if it was only on one, people would go to that console because of how influential it is, which is not un you know
It's not
unfounded.
unfounded of, but you can say that argument with other games. But continue.
Well, yeah. So this goes on though. Microsoft responded to these accusations themselves, and they said that for the concerns around exclusivity, quote, the use of exclusive arrangements has been at the heart of Sony's strategy to strengthen its presence in the gaming industry. Basically, they're saying that you're saying that us making this exclusive would hurt the industry, but you've been doing this for fucking years, with your
Yeah.
games, which point taken. I think it's a point well made as well. But then they said Sony's concerns are incoherent, given that by virtue of PlayStation's dominant market share, the company is a leader in the distribution of digital games, especially when Sony has actively hampered the growth of Game Pass by paying for blocking rights to prevent developers from adding content to Game Pass and other competing subscription services. So basically, they're saying that Sony is paying developers not to put their games on Game Pass, like literally, which that I think is probably the most interesting nugget to come out of this whole thing. For sure. So, I mean, Montreal, what do you make of this? Do you think who has more of a leg to stand on here, Microsoft or Sony?
That's a really good question, actually. I think both of them make really good points. I all right. I'm actually going to side with Microsoft on this one. Sony is super dominant right now, and I understand you're trying to do everything. I commend them for trying to keep their lead. They're really trying to keep their lead and everything like that. My thing is, instead of battling it out in the courts, like battle it out with your products.
Yeah.
Make a better product than Microsoft.
Right.
If you're really so scared of this, just make a better product.
Right.
Like it's. I mean, it sounds easy, but it's also hard at the same time. But that's what capitalism is all about, baby. So
yeah,
this notion right here that Call of Duty's so big that it has no rivals. I think that's totally false. I mean, it is big, but Fortnite's bigger than Call of Duty at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they weren't saying that when they had exclusive deals with Call of Duty on their consoles. It was all hands on deck with them.
Yeah.
Now they're playing. Now they're trying to say, well, you can't do this because And I understand that Sony actually literally owns Call of Duty now, or not Sony, but Microsoft does. But in the same sense, like you can say that about God of War. You can say that about
Spider-Man, bro. Like,
Spider-Man. You can say that about Final Fantasy.
Yep.
Final Fantasy has an exclusive deal. Final Fantasy 7, rather, still has not come out on Xbox yet. It's on PC, but it hasn't came out on Xbox.
16's an exclusive. 14's been a console exclusive for PlayStation. Like
that was Microsoft's fault, though. That was Microsoft's fault.
Yeah,
that was purely Microsoft's fault.
Was it? In what way?
Yeah. They actually, Square Enix actually went to Microsoft first and was like, "Hey, we have this game that we want to play with y'all," and Microsoft was like, "Yeah, if you put it on other consoles, then we're not going to take it," and they didn't take it.
Interesting.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, they went to Microsoft first because I think Final Fantasy 11 was on Xbox first, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, funny that they turned him down. That's weird. But yeah, so I mean, like Sony's got a history of doing this with third parties, not even like people they own. Forget about that. Like, yeah, with like Square Enix, they got a long history of exclusives. Atlas as well, even though that's not like a purposeful deal they've signed. Like, they've inherently had exclusives for a long time too. So it is funny to see Sony like cry about that now. It's like a political argument where people argue against something where if their side of the aisle was saying the same thing, they would support it. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, exactly. Which this is funny because it started like a mini console war on Twitter when this article dropped.
Yeah.
Where it didn't just drop, but like Skill Up made a video on it, and the video got on YouTube, and then people were arguing about the video.
Right.
And the amount of people actually defending Sony is just weird. I know back in the day, me and you were like, well, I didn't know you back in the day, but like myself, for instance, I was in the console wars, right? I was like an Xbox diehard. I was like, Xbox is one of the greatest consoles ever. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And it's just it wasn't because I hated Sony. I just thought at the time the PS3 was severely overrated. Um, Everyone who had one swore up and down was like the best console they fucking had in their life.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
um, but I feel like now I feel like console wars are just like obsolete. Like either you have all three consoles or you don't. Like
Well, they're all so different now too, like what each console's trying to do that I feel
yeah,
like it's like I don't even know why we're comparing them, dude. Like when I was younger, I don't know, I probably had the console war conversation with somebody. I'm sure I did, but I just don't remember myself ever caring that much about which console. It's just I just played where the games I wanted to play were, you know? Like it
yeah,
didn't matter who that was. I don't fucking care if it's Microsoft or Sony or Nintendo. Like so that's always been my thing, and that's why I find this whole like argument weird that people are so invested in like PlayStation and like Sony and fucking Nintendo and Microsoft even where
yeah. It's
they'll go and attack people for not, you know, bashing their console or something. It's fucking weird, man.
yeah, and like I said, we didn't have Twitter when we were younger. I mean, we had Facebook, but that was about it.
Thank fucking
Uh,
God. Jesus.
but yeah, now, especially with Nintendo, I feel like there's a point of insecurity with the fans because you remember Nintendo had that Wii arc where the games were the best. Wii was doing wonders for Nintendo. But as far as like if you want to talk about the hardcore base, they totally left the hardcore market behind.
Yeah.
And no one was playing like Nintendo. Like no hardcore gamer was playing like Nintendo products like that.
Hmm.
In general, a lot of gems got left on the Wii, Xenoblade Chronicles. Um, you know, so it got passed up and stuff like that. Um, and I felt like that was the same thing with my bad, I lost my train of thought. But I feel like that's why a lot of Nintendo fanboys rather are really insensitive or really insecure, and they feel this dying need to defend Nintendo every time something bad comes up or every time either something good comes up. Um, but with Sony, it's just weird. Like the fanboys for Sony, those are a weird bunch of people. I don't know. Maybe it's like leftovers from the Xbox 360 era where like Xbox people were kind of on top, but
Yeah.
they have like this weird
I
like
mean, if it's that,
m-
man, grow up. Like, goddamn,
yeah,
it's like 15
it's
years ago.
yeah, they just had this weird thing going on with them, and I don't I don't really know what to say about it, to be honest with you. And I feel like this is kind of a the reason I want to talk about this is because it is stirring up that console war thing that we all thought kind of died like last year or 2 years ago. Um, I don't know. Ever since the PS5 came out, and it's been objectively doing way better than the Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like this console war thing has just came back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, yeah.
yeah,
So I think this whole thing for me is I find this funny. I think it's petty on Sony's part what they're trying to do. They know it's not going to work. Like I'm pretty sure this deal is probably gonna happen. But Sony's trying to fight it wherever they can. But the thing that matters to me is that I think this kind of proves out though that Microsoft's got them scared, dude. Like I think Sony is very wary of what Microsoft's got going on right now. To a really big degree because I mean they kind of telling themselves a little bit like with the Call of Duty comments like dude I think they know we know Microsoft knows we all know that if Microsoft decided to make Call of Duty exclusive that would have an effect on the console market like I sincerely believe that would sell more Xboxes you know.
yeah, and I honestly think, to be honest with you, 100% honest with you, I only think it's not exclusive right now is because Phil Spencer doesn't want it to be exclusive. I really think somebody in the background is like, "Hey, man, why are we not making this exclusive?" And he's like, "I want the kind of market to thrive." If that makes any sense.
Well, also they're going to make more money by not making it exclusive. Like
Exactly.
if they made it exclusive, they're fighting about market share at that point. But Phil Spencer has said many a time that he doesn't care about market share. That's not the game they're trying to play. They're in the money game, you know.
Yeah.
Which if that's true, then making it exclusive is the wrong choice, you know. But I don't know. It's like Sony. That's the thing, though. It's always a trump card you can play. Like if you're really desperate, at a certain point, you can play that card. They can do that with a lot of franchises now too. It's I think Sony sees that and is definitely getting a little concerned. For sure. And they're seeing it with Bethesda. Like they're gonna lose. They've lost all the Bethesda games. They're not getting Bethesda games anymore. And they are not going to get Obsidian games anymore. Like they're not. There's just a lot of franchises that they're going to lose out on. That maybe they're not huge for them, but they're still there. Like they're like Fallout's not a small one. Elder Scrolls is not a small one. Like those are big blows. And losing Starfield, I think, is a big blow as well. Because they were,
Is it though?
well, no, I mean,
Okay.
they were actively trying to buy exclusivity rights for that game before Microsoft came in and bought Bethesda.
Yeah, I remember that.
And yeah, that obviously failed and they lost it, and now it's going to be exclusive to Xbox. And whatever we think about the game and what we think about Bethesda, it's going to sell a lot of copies. So
Yeah,
it's
100%.
a big move for sure. So I think Sony's feeling the heat for sure. I think Microsoft's put a lot of pressure on them.
I just think it's unnecessary heat. Sony has so many aces up their sleeve that, to me, I don't know, like they just have a lot and they're expanding their brand as well. Like, they have the HBO shows coming out and everything of that nature. I think like they have God of War coming out, they have, Last of Us coming out. Those are like so accessible to people and everything of that nature.
Movies.
Not to mention the JRPGs and like just their Eastern dominance as a whole.
Yeah.
I know they're kind of losing that battle. They're kind of going toe to toe in that battle with Nintendo right now. Well, Nintendo's actually killing that shit. Like if you look at numbers, Nintendo's like a silent winner out of all this.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Yeah.
If you look at the NPD numbers as we do at the end of the month, check it out, guys. But yeah, like I really don't think they have anything to worry about. They're always going to have that market share. They're always going to be dominant. I think still the majority, we call Xbox a dude bro console, but I think as far as video games, as far as sports games, I think they sell the most on PlayStation consoles.
Yeah.
So it's just weird. Like,
well,
I don't know.
I think that's a product of the PS4 era, though. I don't think that was true back in the Xbox 360 era.
Oh no, it wasn't. It definitely wasn't.
Yeah, and I think Xbox lost that, and they need to get it back. And I don't know if they're ever going to get it back, but that's. I think that's where Sony loses their argument here, is that like they're so far ahead of Microsoft and Xbox with this shit that like it would take something gargantuan for that
exactly
kind of gap to be closed, in my opinion. And I think they're afraid of Game Pass. I think that's really what it is, dude. Like I think
they need to understand though. Game Pass is not going to. I don't think Game Pass is going to siphon their customers. Now, it may siphon where their casual customers, which you will need that base, right? But I still feel like the PlayStation 4 was so strong that you really don't have anything to worry about. It's so strong. I called Xbox the dude bro console, but PlayStation 4 is literally the dude bro console, the JRPG console, the indie console. Like it can be so many consoles in one that they need to recognize their strengths, which is literally everything. They have a everything console. Only thing they don't have is Game Pass. But who needs Game Pass when I have fucking God of War? They were the pioneers, in my opinion, of the whole Xbox Gold and PlayStation monthlies.
PlayStation Plus, yeah. Oh,
PlayStation
absolutely.
Plus.
They were, dude. They
were the pioneers behind it,
dude. They had that shit. Remember, PS3, you didn't need PS Plus to play online, like play multiplayer. That was something they added in the PS4 gen. PS Plus originally was literally a subscription to get free games. Like, every month. That was what it was for. And people, I remember there were articles written arguing about how good of a value it was. And people were like, like balking at that concept at the time. And look at us now, where not only do we've had that forever, and Xbox eventually copied that, but then Xbox made their own version of that with Game Pass, which is now we're having the same conversations about. We've been having those same conversations for years. Is the value worth it?
Exactly, and you know why they did that? Because the PlayStation 3 sales were so bad that they decided to keep the internet free for online gaming, and they added that PlayStation Plus. And I remember when it came out, and my friends were like, "Yo, this is like the greatest deal ever! I get 3 free games a month, and I get to play my video games online for free. Like I don't have to
Yeah,
pay
for
for
like
Xbox."
$5 a month.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that that capitalism or that like them being behind bred innovation for them where they was like, okay, what do we need to do to get back in the head? And they did. They actually beat Xbox that generation at the tail end of it. They beat them. So it's like, and then PlayStation 4, they just blew it out the water. They just focused on games. And I think they should continue to use that mantra for PlayStation 5. I don't think this right here, this is like telling me they're out of touch with what they actually have, in my opinion, unless there's something they don't know behind the scenes that they're failing at something or whatever. I can't see where they went wrong or
Yeah.
what their issue is. To me, Xbox is continually to do a have a big hill to crawl because people are still buying Game Pass and they're like, it's cool, but I don't want to buy an Xbox for it. Like I'm always seeing people say that.
Mhm.
So I just think Sony just needs to chill the fuck out, continue to do what they do, continue to build great games and better value. I actually think that PS Plus or that Sony subscription, I don't forgot what it's called already.
PlayStation Plus
Um,
Premium or
yeah,
Essential,
the
I
PlayStation,
forget. Yeah.
yeah, because they have like 3 different tiers of that. I think if they flesh that out a little bit more, um, that can blow Game Pass out the water, in my opinion.
Yeah, if they that I think that's the ultimate takeaway for me too is like okay, as much as Xbox has some aces up their sleeve that are threatening to Sony has the same shit against Microsoft. Bro, if they started putting their first party games day and date onto their subscription service, I'm sorry, it's gonna have more subscribers than Game Pass very quickly. like I just
Yeah,
like I
you're
just
right.
I just believe that is like there's just no way, dude. Like if they started putting like Last of Us and like the next Spider-Man and the Wolverine game and the next God of War like on their day and date, yeah, you're fucking done, dude. I'm subscribing to that shit. I'm not never buying anything again on PlayStation. Like, it's like they would have fucking millions of people on there. So I don't know, they have ways to bite back. That's why I find this petty that they're like trying to fight this in like a legal way. It's like just like let it play out, dude. If these governments are going to decide that this isn't like right, that this is too big of an acquisition, they're going to block it. Like I don't think you're going to swing that, Sony. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think. I don't know. I feel like Sony does have a pot. You always hear like they don't have a pot to piss in. I think they have a pot to piss in, and that pot is very fucking huge. Like, just fucking piss in it, bro.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know. They're a great I mean, what they've been doing for the last several years with PlayStation is absolutely amazing. I love the PlayStation 5. I love the PlayStation 4. Um, I don't know, in the games on it and everything like that. So,
I hate the PlayStation 4.
well, the UI is fucking
I
terrible.
mean, I
We
hate the
already discussed.
hardware. The console generation was great, but yeah,
Yeah.
the fucking device. Oh my god! By the end of the generation, bro,
Sound like a fucking jet engine.
dude, it was just the fucking yeah. It sounded like a jet engine, and then the thing would take 80 years to do anything. Like it just was such a nightmare.
Oh my god! I mean, that was both the Xbox One and the
I
fucking
know
PlayStation
yeah, the
4, bro.
lack of
That,
an
that was a terrible generation to be honest with you. It just had some really good
no,
games, but
yeah, I think people, dude. There's a lot of people out there who say the PS4 generation is the best generation in gaming, right? PS4, Xbox One,
I
and
will say games wise, yes.
I can see that games wise, but I'm sorry that when you say that statement though, I'm not just thinking about games. Like the consoles matter in that situation. And to be frank, I think we're going to look back in 30 years on the PS4 Xbox One generation as like one of the most awkward moments in gaming where
Oh my
like
god.
we were right before shit got really good, like
Yeah.
and it's like everybody right now, yeah, we have recency bias. Like of course, it's the most recent thing we know, but I'm telling you in like 3 or 4 generations we're going to look at PS4 as like, oh god, how did we live like that? It's like that's just the way I look at it because it was so like the lack of an SSD held the consoles back to such a huge degree that I think the games did not grow as much as they should have in that generation, like what games can do.
Yeah,
And
no,
I, yeah,
you're right. You're 100% right. I just remember us playing like Monster Hunter, right, on the PS4, and my PlayStation would literally be sounding like a fucking,
yeah.
I don't even know, like I was in a wind tunnel, bro. Like that's how loud it was sometimes when we
You
get
can
done
like
playing
hear
that
it on
game.
mic, dude. That's how loud it was. Well, dude, it was like I would like start the game up, right? You get to character select, and then I'd hit like enter the game or whatever, and I'd walk away and go get a drink. That's how long it would take to load. You know, it's like fucking insanity, dude. Like loading times in the PS4 generation were just horrifically bad. Like I maybe I'm exaggerating. I'm probably exaggerating, but
No, you're not. You're not.
it's just
Because
like
they were bad on the Xbox One. I
yeah,
mean, it was just it was a weird time because right after the consoles were revealed, like SSDs came out or they became really affordable for people, and we're like, bro, loading is a thing of the past now. And
right. Because in the PC world, I had a SSD. But
mhm.
by the time the PlayStation 4 came out, I had an SSD in my PC. So I was already living in the future of load times are non-existent and everything loads in 5 seconds. And going from that every day to the PlayStation 4, where it would take 2 minutes for a fucking game to load, like between loading screens. Like I remember Bloodborne came out, and that was like a huge fucking controversy because that game would take like 3 minutes to load between areas or into the game, or like a load a save game. It's fucking so cumbersome, dude. So I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of people like don't talk about that or don't think about that or they don't think it was a big deal, but as somebody who's always been a PC gamer, and I mean, I know you have too, it's just like I couldn't stand it. I'd be playing fucking, I don't even, I'm trying to think, like I'd be playing fucking Apex or something, or PUBG, and it would load in like 2 seconds, you know? And it's like, and then I'd go on my PlayStation and boot up Monster Hunter, and it would take minutes to get into a hunt, you know? Like,
Yeah.
and then when you
No,
do get into a hunt, it's 30 frames and choppy as fuck, you know? It's like,
yep.
I don't know. Like, so, but we're past that now. PS5 and Xbox Series X are fucking excellent. So I'm much more satisfied than I was back then. So
Yeah, you know what a silent winner is, man? The Switch. I think that really accomplishes the goal of being a console and a fucking handheld.
mm-hmm.
I don't even play a handheld now. I just play as a console.
Well, I do too, but you know what's funny when I like go, like I'm playing Xenoblade, if I like go to the bathroom or something for a few minutes, I'll like grab it and take it with me. That's it's like you don't have to. I could pick up a book or bring my phone or something, but you know, it's like I can do that though. So I you know, it's just nice to have that flexibility with the Switch.
Yeah.
And they've definitely achieved that for
I
sure.
hope they continue that with their next console. I don't want them to make a
Bro, if they go off the Switch design, and do like, you know, do what they've always done where they don't copy the same design twice, you know, with the next console, it's going to be a Wii U situation.
Oh my god, don't say that. Don't do that.
I just they have to know better. They've hit gold with this, to me, to the point that everybody's copying them, you know.
What if they do what if they do like a console phone situation? Oh my god. I can say I hope I'm, you know what? I'm mad at myself for even putting that out
No,
there in the
man,
stratosphere.
no, they wouldn't do that. They're not that dumb. They're not that dumb. But we got to
I
hear
don't
about the
know, man.
Switch. We got to hear about the next console soon, though, right? I mean, dude, we're coming on what, 6 years in March?
Bro, it's to the point now where I blocked every time I see Switch Pro. I blocked that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I
use that
know, but
term.
realistically though, we have to be close to learning about it. Don't you think? Like, I mean, I don't know, maybe not. The Switch is still going strong, so I don't know, maybe Nintendo's just going to ride it for a couple more years. Who
A
knows?
couple more years. I don't think their games can handle it, man.
I don't I think they've embraced the fact that they can't, they're not going to have the latest and greatest Sony and Xbox games, like multi-platform shit on their console.
Yeah, but they can still upgrade it. Like if we can get PS4 games handheld, that would be cool. You know what I'm saying?
Always a
PS4.
generation behind, right?
Yeah.
That's always where handhelds have been. So, traditionally.
Yeah, so we can get that. Like I honestly believe that's why they delayed Breath of the Wild too. Like I think it's for another console. It has to be.
That would make a lot of sense. That really would make a lot of sense. But
Because I don't understand why they delayed it. I mean, I understand delayed games a good game, but they had years to work on Breath of the Wild 2. Years,
yeah,
literal years.
yeah.
So
Well, if we're gonna hear about it too, remember the Switch wasn't announced. It was announced 2 months before it came out. So that was the official reveal, was in like January of 2017. So if we're gonna hear about it, it probably would be pretty imminent to the console coming out. So
yeah,
I guess we're probably still ways off from that, but it's definitely something to keep track of, though. I always forget how old the Switch is now. It's 5.5 years old, dude.
yeah.
It's pretty nuts. So, all right, Montrell, let's move on. We got one more story here. It is a delay, sadly. Hogwarts Legacy. It has been announced.
Man, this one really hurt my heart. This one
Yeah,
really hurt.
it is being delayed into February to February 10th, 2023, which is a shame. But honestly, delayed game, better game. So,
Yep.
are you're still highly anticipating this one though?
Yes, even though I don't really like Harry Potter like that, I always love the world and everything. I love the world design and everything of that nature. So,
God, this
yes.
screenshot gets me fucking amped, dude. Like,
Well, the fucking trailer, that 17-minute trailer they had,
oh my god,
man,
yeah,
that shit looks so good, man.
dude. I'm fucking amped for this game. Like, I'm so ready for this. It's I don't know. There's not a lot of third party games that get me excited anymore. Maybe Square Enix stuff, but like this one, they really got me with this one. I'm
Who's the team making this game?
Avalanche.
Avalanche. Okay. What did they make it for?
I think this is the Avalanche. So there's multiple teams called Avalanche, but I'm pretty sure this is the one that made that like Mad Max game.
That was well received.
Yeah, several years ago. Yeah, and people really like that game. So I think that's this Avalanche. I'm not 100% sure though.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to this game. I mean, February 10th, good timing.
Speaking of WB games, I didn't want to share this, but did you see that latest trailer that Gotham Knights just dropped?
Okay, I didn't watch it. I saw maybe 20 seconds of it, dude, where they were driving around. They were driving around as what's his name, Red Hood.
Red Hood, yeah.
Dude.
Oh, bro, that shit looks like a PS3 game.
Bro, this game, I'm so sad because we were looking forward to this game, and now I'm like, what happened? This game looks horrible, dude. The magnetizing, it's like every enemy's wearing a magnet. I just
not even that. The animations are so fucking clunky. I'm really trying to just have the benefit of the doubt and saying like it's the people playing the game because there can't be any way they release these trailers, bro, and they're just like, yo, people are gonna go crazy over this, bro.
This is it, man. This is the one. This is going viral, baby, and it's, oh my god, bro. Like, I can't with it. The movement and everything too. It just, I don't know. It's so upsetting. I kind of need to see like a Batgirl, because maybe she's better, and it'll all be okay. Just play Batgirl the whole time, but
play Batgirl.
Yeah, but dude, Red Hood and fucking Nightwing, bro, so far. Like, holy shit, man. That shit with Nightwing in the first trailer they showed, or the last trailer they showed, where he was on the roof just fucking jumping all the way across the roof to hit an enemy is just so absurd to me. I can't.
Well, Red Hood is just so clunky, man. He's like, the way he jumps, he does a double jump, he jumps off the soles.
Yeah, he looks like he's a fucking bat trying to fucking like jumping through the air, dude. And he's also so bulky too. Like,
he's so buff.
He looks like fucking Bane or something, bro. Like, I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, he shoots guns. Like, why is he so bulky? I don't get it. Like, it's fucking weird, man.
That game looks so, this is not the same team, right? This is not the same team that made Arkham.
No. This is the team that made Origin, I think.
Okay, that explains a lot. But like, man, they need to delay this game. Like, if any game should be delayed, this game, people are literally in the comments of their videos saying, please delay this game. Like, people want this game to be good, bro.
Yeah. Is this the trailer? Is this the one from like two or 3 weeks ago, earlier in the month?
I'm going to see, because I laughed at it just earlier. I was about to send it to you.
Yeah.
literally in my draft to send it to you.
Yeah, I'm looking at some gameplay from IGN from
Okay, I'm about to
August
send it to you.
1st.
Oh my god, it was released on August 17th.
Oh, okay.
Hold on, here it is,
Okay.
right here.
Well, I'm looking at this gameplay from August 1st, and let's see. Oh, god damn, dude, Red Hood is so muscular. It's just
I think
stupid.
it probably is the same one, but they just kind of edited it down for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, well, they showed like Batgirl.
Okay, yeah. On this one, they just showing Red Hood. It's just pure Red Hood, and then they got like his move sets and everything like that.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Oh my god, this looks so bad. It looks. You know what? I almost so the trailer I sent to you, right? Doesn't look like a mobile game. Like even people in the comments are like, "Is this a mobile game?" Because I thought it legitimately was a mobile game. They're like a mobile tie-in to it,
Mm-hmm.
and this is like the actual game.
Yeah.
Like if you want to watch it, I could talk for 30 seconds. But if you want to watch it, like
Well,
go
yeah,
ahead.
I'm watching it now, and dude, oh my god, the jumping animations and the like grapple, dude. This looks like fucking Kratos, like fucking jumping around and grappling around and shit. Like,
Did you see the slide attack? Look how
dude, like that slide is like so. No, but it's what I'm telling you, man. He just moves around so unnaturally. Like his momentum does like shouldn't be possible by a human. You know, it's like I don't get what they're going for here. It's like I don't know. I mean, I've seen this with other games though. I don't want to just bash on this game. Like Monster Hunter World. I remember playing Dual Blades. You know the spinning attack they do where you can like spin forward.
yeah.
And it's that attack, like there's no in the animation, there's no like momentum happening. The character just starts spinning forward really fast, you know. So there's no like build up to that, like it just happens. It's really funny to watch actually when you pay attention to it. I mean, it doesn't matter in Monster Hunter as much, and it probably
No,
doesn't
I think
matter
the
in this
animations
game, but
I
the
don't
thing
know,
is
man.
it's so obvious with Gotham Knights, whereas with Monster Hunter you're more focused on the monster you're fighting and you're not really looking at your character that much, so it doesn't really matter that much. But yeah, here it's like, dude, it's so obvious with how like bad these animations like look, and just kind of feel to watch. Like I don't know, man. I don't want to bash on this
So
game forever,
so
but
this is
it's
I feel like this is gonna be the opposite of Avengers, right? I feel like this game is gonna have a lot of content in it.
yeah.
For some reason, I just feel like it's gonna have a super amount of content, like villains and
Mm-hmm.
everything. It's gonna be
I
like
think you're
on
right.
par. But the gameplay surrounding that content is not going to be fun, which is like the opposite of the Avengers. The Avengers gameplay, like the combat was like, mwah, that was some good ass combat, but like the content was terrible. Surrounding it, and I think it's in a better spot now. I haven't touched it in forever, but yeah, I just feel like it's the opposite. And like WB games, their games are so hit and miss as far as like what's
Yeah.
good and what's not, you know. So
Right.
I'm still trying to be positive on it, but every time I look at this game, man, every time it's to the point where I went dark on the game and it's just started ready to top up my
Just
time
started
feed.
seeing it again, yeah.
Yeah,
And it's like, yikes, dude.
because I'm still probably gonna give it a chance. I wish
Well, we
you still had
wanted to play,
GameFly.
yeah, we wanted to play it together, right? Because you could
Yeah,
co-op this, which I don't know. I'm still interested in doing, but I don't know. Almost, it'll almost be funny to play it together. I'm too busy laughing at it. Oh shit,
yeah.
dude.
The amount of copium in some of these comments, man, is just hands down the most fluid Red Hood gameplay I've seen thus far.
Yeah. All right, I'm
Oh,
about to watch some Batgirl combat. Let's see if this is any good. She's got a baton that she's wielding. Some guy's coming at her
okay,
with a bat. She just
okay.
dodged. Okay.
So it looks better for her gameplay, right?
That looks a little bit better so far, but they're only showing like her like 1v1ing an enemy, so it's not. They're showing like the very beginning of the game. I need to see like a more intense fight. Let's see if there's something more later on. They're showing some stealth gameplay. It's kind of hard to tell. I can't really see. I'm not seeing anything like.
Yeah, you know what? It looks good too. So there was a trailer on IGN for the first 16 minutes for her gameplay, I think.
That's the one I'm looking at right now.
Oh, that's the one you're looking at? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. This is like a bigger fight. Yeah, keep going. I'll jump in.
Robin looked really good though. His gameplay looked. Tim Drake's Robin, he looks really good though. I didn't like Nightwing's gameplay, and I didn't like Red Hood's gameplay, but I think Robin and Batgirl,
bro,
that gameplay looks really good.
She has the same slide that Red Hood does, though.
Oh Jesus!
It happens at like go to like 13:30 or so, and she does it in the middle of this fight like a couple times. Oh my god! Like, what is the point of that? I don't understand. They're constantly doing it. I don't get it. What is the point of that slide? Oh, god damn it, man. She's got a lot of projectile stuff though, which is kind of cool. I actually think it does look pretty fun. So maybe that's what we do. We get the game, we play her and Robin, and we just swap between them, and
yeah, we just don't touch Nightwing and Red Hood
unless we want to have a goofy time,
Yeah, let's do memes for her or something like that.
Right.
But yeah, her gameplay actually looks pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I like her gameplay. It's still got that little magnetized thing, but it's not as bad as Nightwing.
Oh my god, yeah. Nightwing. Jesus.
Maybe they fixed that. Maybe that was like an early build of the game, and they fixed it.
I mean, that was a trailer from like 2 or 3 months ago, dude. It's not. I don't know. I mean, you're probably right. They probably could have fixed it in that time, but it just seems core to the game, though. I don't know if it's something they can fix. So, but yeah, this boss fight looks pretty cool.
They get some of the characters. I mean, like Robin and Batgirl, they look legit.
Yeah. Well, I like her costume too, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I think her costume looks cool. Whereas, Red Hood and Nightwing look fucking Red Hood in particular looks stupid as fuck, dude.
He's just too big. He's too bulky, bro.
It's like a
in the gym the entire time, like they're making the game. But he's like, I'm gonna get fucking
fucking ripped, bro. I'm gonna beat Bane 1-on-1. Oh shit, dude. Or it's like a late game reveal. He is Bane.
Oh my god,
that'd be hilarious.
That would be hilarious.
But all right, yeah, Batgirl looks pretty cool. So I don't know. Maybe we'll give it a shot, man. I just don't know if I want to pay $70 for this game though.
I might wait for it to be on sale.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought too. I feel like this game's gonna be one of those quick. It'll be $35 in a month or two.
Yeah, for sure.
So maybe it's a Black Friday game.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. I might get for Black Friday.
Yeah, because it's coming early October, right? So that's the right time frame for it to be like pretty discounted by Black Friday. So yeah, maybe that's the thought. But all right, man. Well, we're done. We don't have anything else to discuss. Is there anything you want to talk about before we go?
Nope. We talked about everything I want to talk about.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. If you like this episode, please like the show and review the show and subscribe to the show on whatever feed you're listening to it on. And please share it with your friends. If you'd like to interact with us on Twitter, you can do so at iTrap for the Hokage for Montrell. That is the number 4, not the word. I'm at Thundernut01, and the show is at The Player's Take. If you'd like to send us a question, you can do so on Twitter, or you can send us excuse me. Oh, God. You can send us an email to theplayerstake01@gmail.com. I'm sorry, guys. I still have a cough, so it's just it comes up on me every few minutes. And that's it for us, guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will see you next week. Bye.